I have found in the Hizmet movement, again, a compassion and an understanding of people's needs at a very basic level, and again, a wonderful way to share our understanding and faith, really, and respect for each human life. I visited a center from our organization, OCCJ. I am Barbara Austin. I'm a Catholic Benedictine sister in Tulsa, Oklahoma. I've been a member of my Benedictine community, St. Joseph Monastery, for 47 years. I am an educator. I've been a leader in my religious community, and I serve in Tulsa on the board of OCCJ and on our Monastic Interreligious Dialogue Board. I came to know the Hizmet movement first in Tulsa through Yusuf Dundar and the Turkish Raindrop House here in Tulsa. And then I knew it more extensively in my travel to Turkey this past summer in August. My overall opinion of the Hizmet movement, that it is a treasure, actually. I see it's the teachings of the Hizmet movement and the people that the Hizmet movement is involved with. What I saw in Turkey is really an opportunity through the Hizmet movement for Turkey to become an outstanding leader throughout the world for a way to build peace and unity. I have read some writings from Mr. Fethullah Gulen. I am very impressed with his writings, not only with his understanding of the Islamic religion and the history of Muslims in the world, also the main aspect of his teaching and thinking that is so impressing me is his ability to bring together the social aspect of what it means to live in a society as community with diversity of peoples, and how he has understood his own Muslim faith as a catalyst for that building up of identity in a way that allows for great diversity within world societies, really. In the writings of Fethullah Gulen that I have been exposed to, my most impressed understanding of how the Hizmet movement contributes to the common good is through his own understanding of the compassion and mercy of God, and how then the people who follow the Hizmet movement have incorporated that compassion and mercy through education, through social outreach, has the potential, I think, to counter the threat of extremism in our society by bringing people who maybe have been in economic circumstances that have forced them into reactionary responses, a whole different approach to humanity and bringing about unity through this compassion and mercy. When I understood the Hizmet movement through the Raindrop House here in Tulsa and in my visit to Turkey, I feel that it is a treasure for Islam. It represents, in my small understanding of Islam, a very open and sincere, a people relying on God that, to me, brings a great message from Islam to the world. As I was thinking about the Hizmet movement as compared to other social movements, the one outstanding thing that I see is the unity that the Hizmet movement brings, inviting all people either through participation in education or reaching out to them in social disasters, natural disasters, that brings forth a unity in people that other social movements, focused on the good of certain issues or people, but often loses a focus and becomes divisive. I see the Hizmet movement as the core of it, as bringing about unity. I have participated locally here in Tulsa with the Raindrop House in a variety of ways regarding interfaith dialogue. First of all and foremost, hospitality, bringing people together to share a meal, bringing the sisters of my Benedictine order here to share a pre-Thanksgiving meal. I've attended the dinners, interfaith dinners, honoring interfaith dialogue. I've participated with Yusuf Dundar here in a committee for our Oklahoma Center for Community and Justice. We've shared ideas. We've built up that trialogue to a wonderful event in the city of Tulsa. So I see the Turkish Raindrop House as developing many aspects or many ways to reach out to people of a variety of faiths. When I was in Turkey, I visited several Hizmet schools. I visited a university, and we had lunch with the president of that university. We visited an elementary and high school educational institution. Unfortunately, the students weren't there that day, but we were able to visit with the director of that school and see classrooms and some individual students. I was so impressed with the blending of the sciences and the values, human values that will truly bring out the best in each one of the students there. I am especially reminded, I must say, of the Catholic sisters' presence in America, early in American history, and what the Hizmet, I see in the Hizmet movement in terms of reaching out to students in education, reaching out to people in healthcare, regardless of their faith. And as it developed later in the United States, it became a more identity-oriented endeavor, working with immigrant families who were coming to the United States. Now I see, and it's kind of ironic to me, that Fethullah Gulen was beginning his work in Turkey as a scholar, Islamic scholar, in the 60s and 70s. At the same time, here in the United States, the Catholic sisters were renewing and re-looking at their original mission as women of faith. And what has come now is our sisters have reached out, maybe sometimes even ahead of the teachings of the church, to the marginalized people in our society. And now we have Pope Francis, who is definitely calling us to that. And I hope Fethullah Gulen gets to meet with Pope Francis at some point, because I think they would have a lot to share. The basic religious tenets or the basic teachings of our faith about God have some distinct differences, but the beautiful thing that I'm seeing is that what rises from that faith is a value of compassion, or a value of mercy, or a virtue of humility that has no distinction. Those are what unites us as a people of compassion and mercy. When I was in Turkey, I visited a center that was a warehouse, actually, housing Hizmet's charitable outreach equipment for disaster relief. Visited with the director of that center. We received materials about the Hizmet movement's outreach to these countries. I was very impressed and grateful for more knowledge about their work. I would like to even know more about that, as I have experienced the Catholic relief work around the world. I have found in the Hizmet movement, again, a compassion and an understanding of people's needs at a very basic level, and again, a wonderful way to share our understanding and faith, really, and respect for each human life. I believe that the Hizmet movement, as I have read about it, but for myself, mostly I have come to an understanding of it through people. I've seen families, I've seen civic leaders, businessmen in Turkey and here in Tulsa, and I know their love for Turkey, and what they most hope for is for their children to be educated and to be of service to others. And again, as I said earlier, I really believe that the Hizmet movement gives Turkey a unique role that they could step into and be a model country, not just a model Muslim country, but a model country for all of our world to see civilization coming together in a way of peace and tolerance. And I really believe it's possible from what I have seen of the dedication and devotion of the people involved in the Hizmet movement.
Hizmet movement gives us a whole different perspective of what Islam is really about. It's about establishing peace in God's world, salam.
Mr. Gulen has a long history of working with educators who are trying to blend Western forms of the sciences and humanities into more traditional value education forms, more dominant in the Muslim world.